Hello everyone, welcome back to another vid. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my journey to 3 marking this vehicle, the IS-3-II. I kind of made a video a little while ago explaining what I like and don't like about the double barrels and kind of how they were relevant. I'm just going to give a brief update since I'm going to be sharing 3 battles back to back. So these are the last 3 battles before we receive the 3rd mark of excellence. Double barrels in general, I love. They are a lot of fun, and I wish that they were better as far as at least in the tech tree, because of course we've got the 703 for its reputation of how good it's been. The TS-54 of course was the American double barreled that came with the Watt Plus subscription, and then we just had that newer American one, which I don't know anything about yet, and the Russian ones don't really have that great of a reputation except for this tank. Over the 703, like the IS-3-II and the ST-II, just aren't very good. Extremely power crept, and I feel that this tank has kind of started seeing a power crept as well in Tier 9 with all these new Tier 9 premiums and stuff coming out. And I don't think they're necessarily bad. I think the only one I consider bad is probably the IS-3-II probably suffers the most because it's a Tier 8, and if it sees 10s, its penetration, it just makes it really suffer. Kind of same with the ST-II when it fights higher Tier 10s. You know, a lot more stronger ones, and it just the 310 or the 290 heat pen or whatever it is, I think it's 310 or something like that, it really suffers, and it just makes it very awkward to play. And I wish that these tanks like this line received a buff, like even if it's the pen, that would already make it like pretty good, I would think. What I would do to it is I would also buff, like, I would buff the turret armor of the IS-2-II and the IS-3-II. And I would give the ST-II kind of a mobility nerf and a slight gun handling nerf, or not nerf, but buff. And also give it a little bit quicker speeds. Just kind of up its speed, and then not to make it like broken or anything, but just kind of increase a little bit of everything about the ST-II, just to make it a little bit more competitive. The gun handling for me on all of these tanks, especially the 703, is just very awkward. It's just, I don't know, it just feels really weird to me. I kind of noticed that yesterday when I was playing this tank. It doesn't feel quite the same as I remember from a while ago. I don't think it changed, but after playing, you know, like the Leopard, and I recently got this STR going with 3B, and, you know, I still play like the FE and stuff, but the gun handling just feels really weird. And I don't know if that's just this tank, or if it's just me, or what. I honestly don't know. I honestly think that if they gave attention to like the ST-II and the IS-2-II, the line would definitely be better. I think it's more of a fun line than anything. I wouldn't recommend like grinding it for. It's definitely not competitive at all. But the only reason to grind the line besides for fun is to get this tank, the IS-3-II. Like I said, it is the best one out of the tech tree. Of course, if you have the 703, that's, I think, tier for tier, that is a little bit better. I personally don't like the 703 as much. I much prefer this tank over any of the other double barrels, at least in the tech tree. The IS-2-II I did like. It was fun because the reload, it kind of compensated for the lack of armor, where you could easily make those trades. Sure, it's only 300 damage, but the DPM was honestly pretty decent. Same with this tank. The DPM is not bad. Pretty average. The ST-II, it's nice because it has 440 alpha, and if you max roll both shots, you can get up to 1,000. I've only seen it happen once, so it's kind of rare, but it's usually around the high 800s, low 900s is where I usually see it roll. And the IS-3-II, that's probably the most fun of it, is when you double, because of that alpha. You can eliminate a tank's hit points, half of their hit points like that. To tier 8s, this tank and the IS-3-II are just brutal against. The IS-3-II's armor, I will say, does have good armor compared to the rest of the line, compared to these two others, compared to the IS's. It will bounce a lot more than you think. It's a lot more troll. It's kind of like IS-4 armor, where it's extremely troll, and you have those really awkward and weird angles. It's kind of unpredictable sometimes. It's not always works out. Like if you get some kind of big gun or whatever, it's a lot harder to make the armor work. And that is, you know, pretty typical, I think. But I do wish that these things did get the love that they deserve. They're not bad, like I'm saying. They're just power crept extreme. And I wish that Wargaming would stop releasing all these premium tanks and all of these better, like, new lineups, which is not a problem. I don't have a problem with it, but at least make, like, the older lines and stuff like that, at least make them still kind of just, you know, at least playable. Because some of them, like, for example, the IS-4, all it has for it, going for it, is the armor, and that's it. But everything else about it, it's just not good. And it's sad because it's like all these lines that used to grind, like especially take the FE215B, for example. They now made it a tank in the bond shop because it got replaced by the S-Conk, and now even the S-Conk, it's still good, but they even nerfed the S-Conk, and it's like, I wish that they would do less nerfs and just more buffs, kind of balance out the tanks a little bit more with their, like, where they have an even amount of, I guess, just like the way that they play, you know. I think that if they didn't want to balance this tank a little bit more, I think the main thing is to buff the pen, because I think that's where it suffers the most with all three of these tanks. And that would make it, that alone, I think, would make it kind of more balanced. And then specifically, if I was to do anything more to it, specifically with each tank, like I was saying, the ST2, just a little bit quicker, less sluggish, less awkward gun handling. The IS-2-II and the IS-3-II specifically, better turret armor. It is decent already, so it's not like it needs it compared to what the pen. I think the pen is definitely more important. It isn't bad. Like the gold here is, it's in the high 3s. So, or it's in the high 2s, I'm sorry, almost 3. The AP is okay at 240. The AP is about the same as the ST2s, around 240, 250. So it's kind of not really great. And, especially the ST2 is where it suffers, like I was saying earlier. The IS-2-II, it only suffers against 10s, able to pen stuff, like straight on. I noticed this the other day because I was playing the IS-2-II for fun. Another guy was grinding it with, I was helping him grind his IS-2-II, and I was playing mine with him. And, it really struggled, the IS-2-II. Even I was less than 100 meters away from a mouse, and he was directly straight on. And I fired, I think, 6 shots. Only like 2, maybe 3 of them penned. Like straight on his lower plate. And it was orange, so it's a 50-50 already. Because but just the fact that, like, I don't know. That was a beautiful solval too, by the way. Just want to talk about that. Unfortunate, he has an automatic repair kit, but it is what it is, I guess. I normally don't do salvos like that. I only try to do them typically when I want to focus fire for like a kill shot, for example. I was hoping my other allies were going to finish him off. Because salvoing especially with any of these tanks, it really kills the DPM. The one that you could kind of get away with it a lot is the IS-3-II because its reload is so short to where it doesn't make a huge it makes less of a huge like negative impact compared to this tank and the 703 and the SD2. I don't know. I could probably say the same for the TS 60. I think is what it's called. That the one that you get for what's it called? Watt Plus. And I don't know about the other one. I don't know how that is. So I'm hoping I hope I might get that tank just to kind of see what it's like. But yeah, honestly, I really love these tanks just because the double barreled. It's very flexible, a lot like an auto reloader. For all of them, for like the larger maps and stuff, and just for general use, I love vents because of it helps with the reload and with the accuracy slightly. It kind of boosts a little bit of everything. I only think it's worth it for like having the bounty vents. Is the only thing that kind of makes it worth it. And of course, like I was saying earlier, you kind of heard me complain about the gun handling just feeling awkward, so definitely do V-stabs for all of them. And then for the third, you could do hardening or turbo. I kind of changed it. Like the ST2 definitely needs turbo. The IS-3-II is kind of fast, so it doesn't need it that badly. The IS-3-II, it kind of has difficulty getting up to speed, but once it gets there, it's fine. So I would probably, like, the only one I wouldn't put a turbo on is probably the IS-3-II. I run it anyway because it's more of a medium because of the way that it's played. But I do have turbo on all of them. Both this and the IS-3-II, I have vents, V-stabs, and turbo. And then for the ST2, instead of having vents, I have hardening because of the armor, just to kind of improve that a little bit more, especially like when you have to deal with Yak Panzers and stuff like that. And also just for a general health boost. I could probably do that with these tanks too, honestly, and it would probably be fine. And replace vents with it. But personally, at least for me, I like the vents a little bit better for most scenarios. I think hardening probably, if you get like a lot of heavy tanks, like a lot of heavy tank lineups, it would probably be most useful for, especially the IS-3-II. It definitely help it with that. And it would be an improvement for that, I think, mostly. But other than that, I personally like the vents because it can't get a rammer. It's basically the double guns. It basically works the same as a auto reloader, and because of that, you can't put a rammer on it, which is completely understandable, quite honestly. So, but anyway, I've pretty much said everything I want to about this line. And I do really like it. The shell velocity on all the gold shells are pretty good. The SD2 is the only one that's kind of slow because it's heat, where versus this and the IS-3-II are both APCR. Same with the 703, it's also heat. But the 703 has APCR for its base shell, and then that's the only one where it has APCR and heat for its main shells, and then the rest of these, the IS-3-II and this tank have AP and APCR, and the SD2 has AP heat. So kind of interesting shell choice for this lineup. I'm not sure which one I like better, honestly. I think the APCR I kind of like better just because it is faster. To where the heat, I don't mind the heat on the ST2 because it's a little easier to pen certain angles, but I think maybe if it had APCR, I'd like it a little bit better, just because the pen is so bad, where you're giving it better shell velocity and it kind of makes up for its lack of pen. I think I could be wrong, but that's what I would do, honestly. But yeah, I guess since I'm pretty much done with that, let's talking about that. I could talk about this battle. So the last game we had was pretty interesting. You guys kind of saw how that came out. Pretty interesting battle. I love Redshire Assault. It's a lot of fun, and I'm just gonna try to rotate around. I wasted enough time with that projectile. Thankfully, my artillery player does finish him off, and now I can just keep driving. So right now we're at 3.6k damage and almost 700 assistance. So we've already done pretty good. These three last battles back to back were honestly kind of like, especially this next battle that you guys are gonna see. It was honestly out of pure luck. Some, at least a good chunk of it was because of what happens, and you guys will see that here in the next replay. But I usually don't spam gold like this, but because the pen is bad and because I was going for the third mark, I was so close. I was hovering around like 92, 93 for the last couple days, and I was finally able, of course, to bring it up. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. The 3-mark wrecks were honestly fairly easy. I'm surprised they're not higher for how good, for like how high this tank is. Another thing I noticed too, which you guys will see, but this tank is really hard to ace. Like, I've gotten like 7k, even 8k combined a couple times. I had a really good battle on proc the other day, and I ended up getting like 8 or 9k combined, and it still wasn't enough for an ace. I got like 3-something thousand damage and over 3,000 something spotting, so like a total of like, yeah, around like 8k, 9k combined, roughly. I'm sorry, yeah, it would be 8, but it's just, this thing is extremely hard to ace, which is very odd. The IS-3-II is pretty easy to ace. The 703 isn't bad to ace. The ST2 I've aced, I think, once maybe. The ST2 I think I've only done once, but the IS-3-II I've aced the most. 703 I've aced a couple times. ST2 I think maybe once. But this tank, I've never done it. I've gotten only first classes when I do really well. So kind of interesting. I thought maybe you guys would be interested in that, so I find it very curious. So there's the FE. I could have soloed him there, but I didn't want to take the extra time in case if he shot me, but he did fire. And I'm just gonna take the shot. I'm not gonna get the shot on the Emil, so I just decided to fire. That puts us at 5.5 damage, and about the same. So over 6k combined for the second battle, back to back. Like I said, all three of these were back to back, quite literally. I got very lucky on this last battle, so pretty good matches, surprisingly for me. I was very happy with these results. I don't get these too often, but very good nonetheless. And let's go ahead and have a look at the last game here, because, man, this kind of this is you guys would like this. This is good. This is good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the double barrels. If you think they're fun, if you think they need to be nerfed, if you think they need to be buffed, and explain why. Because if you say, oh, they need to be nerfed, why? I'm curious to hear your thoughts, or if they don't need anything at all. If you think they're perfectly fine the way they are, let me know why. I am curious to see what you all think about that. So for our last game, we get Oyster Bay. I am not terribly fond of this map, in all honesty. The south buff was kind of nice. There's more hold downs, and there's kind of a tunnel that you can go through there, which is nice. They're in the south, so pretty cool. Oh no, I stand corrected. I wasn't running vents on this. I was running experimental hardening. So there you go. I completely forgot about that, in all honesty. We got a couple 10s and mostly 8s, and a few 9s as well. So this game should be extremely good for us. We've got an ST2 with us as well on our right side. One thing too I did notice is that I love how many shells the IS-2-II and the IS-3-II have. It's really nice. So you can afford to, to load all your ammo and stuff. And it's not going to hurt you ammo-wise if you miss a shot. So that's also probably the last thing I want to say about that. But yeah, the amount of shells that these carry is just kind of crazy. So most of them I see carry is like usually around like 40 or 50 for most average tanks, I think. So this carrying over 70 is kind of nuts. But we see the bat chat first. I have to be kind of careful against him. This 277 is also going to be kind of annoying, but we are able to punish this Taro for free. I think that's one of the newer tanks. I honestly don't know how good or how bad it is. But already it was just a nuisance. So already within a few seconds we already have 1K combo almost. So we're stacking up good. Of course, our team is pushing the north, which means that pretty soon we're gonna have to start falling back towards from the south because we are outnumbered here greatly. I'm just trying not to take a shot at the 277 because I know that unless if RNG is like, I love you, there's no way I'm going to be hitting his cupola. I do give it a shot, literally, and unfortunately we do miss, but that's okay. Our RD is going to punish him, though. He does give us some nice assistance. I do try it again. Unfortunately, completely missed. And I noticed that the XM is pushing up, so I'm kind of hesitant now to start falling back and start wasting time with this guy. That's the, by the way, that thing right there that you see, that's the our ally right there was the new double-barreled American tank. Odd that they chose American, you know, for the second double-barrel lineup. Very interesting. I try maybe saying if I get a shot here, that guy just gets absolutely wrecked, and now it is time to start falling back because they are going to start pushing this, and this is where the fun begins, boys. This is where this is where the luck comes in that I was talking about earlier, and yeah, I am very lucky with the results of this game. Unlucky shot there, probably hit his gun. That's this guns for you though, honestly. That happens quite often, and not just this tank, but just to me in general, or stupid stuff like that happens. I'm sure some of you also have really, really bad RNG from time to time. But here they come. I'm gonna start pushing over, and I'm kind of glad that our team all went north, honestly, because I wouldn't be getting the results that I would be getting. Yeah, it is time to get out of here. I do kind of mess up that shot, so I could have had one extra shot there if I actually made that pen, but here comes the luck. So I think to myself, I can get some spotting off here, and I do end up doing it. We put ourselves at 2100 combo already. It's gonna slowly start stacking up. Their T30 decides to have a little bit of fun, and so we're gonna punish him for him trying to do that. We are lucky, but we are a one-shot, so we are lucky to survive that, quite honestly. Their T30 does fire. We do put a salvo back into him. I'm trusting my allies are gonna kill him because I have a lot of tanks. There's a Scorp G, there's a FV, already could kill if there's a turtle. So I know we're doing pretty good. We're at 4.7 combo about. And I am able to get a shot into the Bizante. And this T30 should get punished here any second by our Artie. Yep, there we go. And we do end up capping the base, so unfortunately, I'm not going to get any more damage. But hey, kind of lucky there, don't you guys think? So that puts us at 5.8. So a good battle to end off of. And let me switch this over real quick for you guys so we can have a look at this, because, man, that was a fun game. And, man, what a lucky game, too. We could have had more out of it if they didn't cap, but I'm not complaining. I am very lucky to survive that T30 cliff dumping me and getting kind of yellowed by both T30s, quite honestly. And getting that spotting that we did definitely helped, because that put us at 95.1 when I checked. So that was just enough to secure the third mark of excellence on this vehicle. Only the second class, not surprised. I didn't take screenshots for the other battles because I didn't know how they were going to go. But of course, for this is definitely well deserved of sharing the screenshot with. So I am very, very happy with these results, and for how quick that game was, we actually we stopped this tank, especially this tank and the IS-3-II. I noticed they can very quickly stack up damage. The 703 and I have a lot more trouble doing so with. Same with the ST2. The 703 I only do because of the gun depression. I'm not a huge fan of that, but Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I am very curious to hear your thoughts on this. And I'm happy that I can finally share another 3-marked video with you guys. I have not 3-marked a tank for a while. This is my third 3-mark. Trying to get better. I'm currently working on a couple of other vehicles, and hopefully those will come soon. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. I honestly didn't think I was going to do it anytime soon, and I'm very, very happy that I did. Got very lucky those last 3 battles back to back, as you saw. Probably some of the best matchmaking I've had all year, quite honestly. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, leave them down below. I answer every single one because, you know, I'm not very popular, which I guess is not a bad thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. I do appreciate it.